You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Michael, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hello, and welcome back. It's your friends at Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. My name's Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Well, when Michael's not here, it's much easier to get through those introductions.
We're not jockeying for position.
Yeah.
So, guys, the voting is over. Clutch MOV.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yep, the voting was just through last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't revealed the results yet.
I was going to say, I never heard anything.
No,
so
man.
we were up for best local podcast, as you may have heard us talk about a couple times. We don't care, but we talk about it all the time.
We sure don't care.
Nah, doesn't mean anything.
So, yeah, if you voted for us, thanks a ton. If you discovered us through that list of local podcasts and were curious,
Even better.
Yes. Much better. So thanks for sticking around.
And if we find out that we've won by the time this comes out, be prepared, because somehow, some way, you bet your ass we're going to have t-shirts made that say best podcast MOV on.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Now,
How many tramp bucks are those? Tramp stamps does that cost?
What happens if Dueling Ogres win? Do we just wrap it up? Call it a night?
We're done.
Oh my god, I never thought of that.
Just admit they beat us.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We say, sirs, you are the better men. You have won this battle. Good day.
270 episodes is all it took.
Fiona, you are our new king and queen.
All right. Well, we're going to try to power through this one pretty fast, but we have to pause. I'm sorry, right at the top. This is an anniversary of sorts, and it's a sad anniversary for a lot of Americans. It's been a year. People seem to have March 11th was the day COVID-19 was declared a pandemic, and that seems to be it's going to evolve into some weird yearly holiday or remembrance, we'll call it, I'm sure, which also happens to be my oldest nephew's birthday. So he's going to get to celebrate his birthday every year when people are going to keep bringing up
He's a bubble boy.
COVID-19. Yeah. So it's our anniversary as well. March 14th. They declared it a pandemic on the 11th, I realized. And March 14th was the last time we recorded in person.
You can't pandemic us. Takes us a week to get the news.
So three days. I remember sitting around the table feeling like, should I be here right now?
I thought that tue. I can't believe they came over.
You could have just locked your doors.
I had to freaking tear down all the plastic to let you in. Like, okay, I guess we're doing this.
So that Friday night, the 14th, we recorded. We did a couple of things. So I want to flash back a year here real quick.
What was the happenings? All
right, so February of that year, we had just done the number 200 anniversary clip show. So that's just a little over a year ago, we were at number 200. All right, that episode came out February 18th. The episode that came out February 25th, we were talking about the Oscars, which haven't happened yet. In a normal year, the Oscars would have already happened. And we reviewed Bad Boys for Life and Birds of Prey. The only two movies I got to the theater to see last year.
Me too.
Yep.
We were watching McMillions on HBO and talking Lock and Key.
We were hungry for fries.
Right. And Lock and Key was the big discussion on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so March 11th, these are episodes we had recorded already. March 11th, Riverdale was at chapter 71, How to Get Away with Murder. It was the Hope You Like Madonna references episode where
that was a good one.
We snuck in Madonna, every Madonna song we could think of.
Unplanned.
Yeah.
I don't remember why.
I remember that holiday.
So March 18th, the episode came out called Hunkered in the Bunker. So that would have been the last one we recorded. We talked about the Classic Plastics Expo I had went to, probably ill-advised. I took my nephews to a Comic-Con at the end of February.
Wasn't crowded, great deals. Everything must go.
So then March 27th, the episode we put out. This was us at our most gutsy. A 20-minute episode we put out called See You at the Crossroads. It was us just explaining how we're going to do this new segment.
Lots of ping pong balls. I had an idea.
What are you saying about the ping pong balls?
What if we do a podcast episode about a crossover?
Ping pong.
Any crossover. Most ridiculous crossovers there have been in comics, TV, whatever you guys want to do. We randomly pull one out, and that's what we're going to do.
That's the one you're going to do.
So we don't have to figure out which one we're going to do. We just do the one we pull out. We have a crossover.
It's wicked, 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 whack.
There's still a box of ping pong balls sitting over here. I thought about that the other day. I was like, they're still sitting there.
So we were going to do shows about famous pop culture crossovers, and we
did do that. I mean, you know.
But this episode, we explained it for 20 minutes and then put a bow on it and put it out as an episode. This is what the pandemic did to us. Like, this is fine, just content, just put it out. So that was it. That was the last thing we talked about in person, were these ping pong balls.
No regrets.
Oh.
All right, so we took no time off. March 27th is when that episode came out. April 7th, we were back. April 7th.
Who was Zoom. Ready for us?
We were Zooming.
Yes.
So this first one, Seth was still at work.
Yes, I remember this.
We're quarantined, so we got Michael back. This was Michael's first trip back.
Yeah,
because
we weren't working. We were all at home.
We were all at home. So we figured out how to do Zoom, and we just did it kind of as a practice.
I never got to stop working. That was the fair part. Don't bring that part out.
So that episode, if you want to hear it, is called Garbage Cans of Meat. And of course, what did we talk about? Tiger King. What everyone on the planet was talking about. The first week of quarantine, you and Michael were all about Tiger King. And we talked a lot about pop culture, what we think pop culture is going to look like in the next year. So that would be an interesting one to go back and listen to. Us not knowing what in the world was happening. April 15th, the very next week, we had assembled on Zoom, and just like we've always have done for the past year. So April 15th was the first full episode where we actually had that last episode. We didn't even have categories. We barely talked about anything. It was just kind of BS. That episode was called On Fire and Sticky. Because we were talking about Walking Dead and the zombies they sugar mapled and lit on fire. We talked about Onward from Disney Plus and Westworld season 3. So that was a year ago. And then April 28th, The Crossroads. We did an episode, The $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman.
Oh, great episode.
And our famous Seth's Star Wars
theory
that the $6 Million Man Bionic Woman crossover predated Star Wars, and Star Wars ripped off the Bionic Man.
See our YouTube video. Goes in deep detail. I have not watched that since then. I should watch that. I was on something when I made that freaking video. And then I confronted the writer of the episode of $6 Million Man.
Called him out and said, "What?" I did,
and he answered me and said that I was on something. And he said, "Nah, I just think it was a coincidence." I beg to differ.
So that's how our past year has. That's where we were a year ago.
Oh my God!
Most of that doesn't feel like a year ago.
No.
You know, like I remember editing that Crossroads episode forever, trying to get it to export because it was so long. It had so much stuff added into it. Like, I think I spent a week on it.
We have an embarrassment of riches. We have to just admit that we have so many segments now that we can't get to any of them.
Yeah.
Jordan and I have been wanting to talk about comics for weeks and weeks. We've got Crossroads waiting to talk about. We got
to talk Charles Barkley versus Godzilla.
I bought Charles Barkley versus Godzilla, and I was just gonna let you guys read it, but now we can't even be in the same room.
We cannot share comic material.
And we've got all different new kinds of ways to do a countdown. We got all kinds of different neat things to do, but
it's all sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're not gonna be Riverdale very soon. So anyway,
we already pump out content, and we want to do even more. Yeah, so we do too much as it is. No one can listen to all the stuff we put out.
You pick and choose what you like out of it and listen to that. But so anyway, we can't be on here forever. We got next half hour. We're going to talk about a few things we've been watching. We've been watching all kinds of stuff, but we're going to get the cream of the crop. Talk about it here. So
there's something very important I forgot to tell you.
What?
Don't cross the streams.
Islands in the stream. That is what we are.
Cross the streams.
I'll just start real quick here. I know I mentioned I was watching The Expanse, and that's a cool sci-fi show, but I took a break from watching The Expanse to try out a show that I was unclear what it was. I definitely had the wrong idea of what it was, called Search Party. And it's on HBO. It originally was a TBS TNT show.
Do you guys remember that girl, Chantal Witherbottom?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she sucked.
Well, she's gone missing.
What do you mean gone missing?
She's like a missing person.
Well, where is she?
That's the question.
Why?
Portia, no one at the table knows.
I want to find her, but I need your guys' help.
Dory, please, can we not do this?
We have to do this. It's our destiny. Sorry.
How long is this gonna be? Because I had like 30 other options tonight. I just want you to know I chose this. Let's put the pieces together. Let's figure it out.
No! There is a lot going on right now, but this is very exciting! Not to get us distracted, but these mannequins look exactly like us.
I'm being followed.
Who are you?
We are good people who were subjected to a really unfortunate situation. And that's all.
Taking a quiz is just such a weird way to end my day.
Whoever sent these knows what we did.
We are a really great team. We'll figure this out.
God, I can't go to jail. I'll die in jail. They'll all resent my personality and kill me.
Dark comedy. It's got Alia Shawkat from Arrested Development, maybe, and it is unlike anything I've ever watched. And that's what I like about it. Like, they will do things that you think they're not really going to do this. They're not, But basically, I don't know why I thought this is ridiculous. I must have saw a commercial at some point, and I thought they're stranded on an island or something.
I saw a million commercials for that when it first debuted, and that's the impression I got. It didn't look like anything I would ever want to watch. Yeah. So I'm not sure the marketing maybe missed the boat then. If you're saying it's really good.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't get it, and I just didn't care about it. And there's some of those dumb comedy type things that I just don't. They're not for me. And I thought that's what this was. It's not, but it's just a dark comedy about 4 self-absorbed 20-somethings who get entangled in an ominous mystery when a former college acquaintance suddenly disappears. That's a good description. But Alia Shawkat is the lead. It's an ensemble. There's 3 other people. I've never seen them in anything else. Another girl, 2 guys, and it's just she sees a poster, like a missing poster on a telephone pole, and she recognizes the girl as someone they went to college with, but just barely know the person, bumped into him in the hallway, but she just kind of becomes entranced in trying to find her. Like, why is she missing? What happened? And because things aren't going so well in her life, she becomes absorbed with that and trying to find this girl. So, but meanwhile, it's just the whole show is just ridiculous. What they do in their daily lives and how silly they act, and you get it has an Arrested Development vibe. I'm really impressed with her as an actress. Like, I've liked her fine when I've seen her. I can't remember what I've seen her in other than Arrested Development, but I know she's been in a couple other things. But I really enjoy her in this show. But it's something you got to try. I would say, I hate when people say this, that you got to give it time, but really the second and third season are very strong. Those 2 seasons are so strong. It's just, you got to get there. The first season is too, but it ends when the first season ends, you're like, are you kidding me? This is how this is ending. And the next 2 seasons are just great. And then there was a 4th season that's also good. It just goes in a direction, and they are not afraid to do anything, basically. And like I said, I was watching a show I was really enjoying, and I stopped it and watched this entire series, 4 seasons, and apparently it's been renewed for 2 more seasons, and I'm psyched because it's great. So if you're looking for something very bingeable, they're 20-some minute episodes, so you're just like buzzing through them. Love the theme song, great theme song. So that's all I'll say about it. You should try it.
That's pretty old, but I think I got that beat. What I've been watching.
Okay.
I've been watching The Prisoner.
Patrick McGowan is the prisoner, trapped in a strange, terrifying prison.
Does anyone know the British show from the 60s? Anybody? Patrick McGowan? So it's on Prime.
A lot of people are curious about what lies behind your resignation. They want to know why you suddenly left. A man like you is worth a great deal on the open market. The information in your head is priceless. I don't think you realize what a valuable property you've become. What a valuable property you've become.
It only lasted 1 season. It's 17 episodes. And I'd had it in my queue for a while because it's kind of famously classic sci-fi that a lot of people I like have referenced it. Like, people who have made movies and shows I like all like The Prisoner growing up as kids. So it's something I've always wanted to check out, but just never had. And then I saw several people comparing WandaVision to it. And I thought, well, now's the perfect time to watch this. So I'll at least watch the first 1 or 2 just to get a vibe on it. And I've ended up loving this show. It is Patrick McGowan. He played the king in Braveheart, Longshanks, as an older man. So that's probably what the movie he's most famous for. But this show is cult favorite, has made him famous. He's a British intelligence agent. And within the first 5 minutes of the show, he tries to resign. He doesn't want to work as a spy anymore. And he is drugged and wakes up in this small little coastal village. And everything's just this idyllic little beach town. And everyone's friendly and waving hello. And he realizes he's trapped there. They won't let him leave. And everyone is given a number. So he is number 6. We never learn his actual name. And it's all about paranoia. There are cameras everywhere. They're listening to you and watching you. And he doesn't even know who did the British take him to make sure he didn't spill any secrets. Was it the Russians, who captured him as a spy? They're trying to get information. They want to know why he quit. and so it's just, I don't know. It's just it's every episode has a weird like twist to it where you think he might figure out what's going on, but someone has betrayed him, or someone's working for the bad guys the whole time and was just messing with him, or they're brainwashing him. My favorite episode so far, they took him away in the night and replaced him with another guy who looked just like him. Like they gave plastic surgery to him or something and like made it and changed his number to number 12. And they said, you need to go break number 6 and figure out what he's like, wait, but I'm number 6. Like, no, that's number 6. So it's like, it's all these mind games and weird, like sci-fi avant-garde look to it, but it's all about, being an individual. You're a man, you're not a number, and that kind of stuff. So I'm about halfway through it so far. And it definitely had a WandaVision feel of like waking up in a place. What is going on here? It's way too peaceful and tranquil.
How long are these
dark.
episodes?
They're 50 minutes apiece. So like would have been an hour with commercials. So
I see there's 17 episodes.
Yeah.
Did you say it's on Prime?
Prime, yep.
Yeah. I may check that out.
And it's got silliness to it. There's a little bit of a Doctor Who feel, like that, weird, it's supposed to look like futuristic technology, but everyone's sitting in those plastic chairs shaped like eggs and stuff. Like it's a very mod British look to everything. So take it with a grain of salt, but I've really enjoyed it so far as a something that fits today's what's going on in the world today, and Big Brother and privacy and that kind of stuff, but with a talking about it that many decades ago.
I'm going to suggest something I think is fairly pertinent to our interests. I kind of handed it to Cliff when we were talking earlier, but I'm sure he was going to get around to watching this. He just didn't know it exists yet. But there's a show just came out on Hulu. It's not a show, it's a documentary. I think it's an hour and 12 minutes. It's called Kid 90.
Director is saying the minute you walk onto the stage, you're no longer a child anymore. You're an adult.
Did you miss me?
There were 12 kids in the business. We all knew everyone.
We would talk for 2-3 hours and fall asleep on the phone. We were just so close.
I carried a camera with me everywhere I went. We weren't concerned about the internet. We did the things that teenagers did. We just happened to be in Hollywood.
Hey, what's up? This is Mark Wahlberg calling for Soleil.
It was all kind of innocent to begin with. Then it just...
It got pretty crazy. It was like our 60s.
I started developing rapidly. People were calling me Punky Boobster.
The last couple weeks have been weird, having guys pinch my ass,
Men treated me more like a woman and not a 13-year-old.
This business, they don't feel it's a place for children.
You start getting in your head, worrying about how you're perceived.
Friends were reaching out for help.
It seemed like I was losing a friend every week.
And it is Soleil Moon Frye, apparently back in her heyday, when she was super young. She grew up a little. She started videotaping everything and saving all her voicemails, just recorded everything in the 90s, basically. And she was friends with pretty much every child actor there was in television and some movies, and just she knew everybody. She was going through a lot of stuff. You can imagine, how her career was developing, and she put it away for 20 years and never looked at it, and then got it all out and made a documentary about it. And it was really good. It was, you see tons of stars back then, just all Brian Austin Green and David Arquette and guy from House of Pain, all these kids, Mark Paul Gosselaar, everybody was there. They were all partying together. So, and she's just got footage of everything. It's just kind of amazing that it exists, and it focuses a lot on her life. I'm not going to tell you more about it because I know you're going to watch it, but I know that Punky Brewster thing came out, reboot, And it's a good companion piece. If you like that, you can kind of see a little behind the scenes of how her life went, back then, and what all she was doing after she hit big with Punky Brewster, kind of how it is to grow up when people don't want you to. So
I Googled it.
I thought it was pretty good. It was a nice length. It's nice and short.
Yeah, I Googled it to see where it was streaming because I didn't know.
What's that?
I Googled it to check to see where it was streaming, and the top headline, Rolling Stone called it the Goodfellas of 90s child star sagas. I don't know what that means, but I think that sounds good. But
yeah. No, I'm sure I'll run across it pretty quickly at this point. So, yeah, I haven't watched much at all. I was telling you guys, I did manage to carve out a little bit of time because everybody was talking about Coming to America 2.
You must heed my words before I'm gone, my son. Now, you will be king. But the throne must pass to a male heir. Hakim, it appears you have a son. He must be found.
Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America. Oh, hell no, Your Majesty. Come on!
I'm back! Say it again! Feel right in this mother... Feel good in this mother... My whole hood in this mother... Come on! I'm the king of this shop. That's funny in hell!
Well. Say it again. It is so good to see you.
Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola.
Famine and Blood Diamond.
Nelson Mandela and Winnie.
Those hungry babies with the flies on the face.
Hey, oh, that's too much. Now, you stepped over the line. Now, we won't be talking that kind of shit about the hungry babies. You're going to have to get out of my chair.
Politically incorrect.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda? I'm back. Say it again.
Which premiered this last week on Prime, and the 30 years later, they brought back pretty much most of the cast except for like the Eric LaSalle and his family. They couldn't get them, I guess, but pretty much everybody else is back, and I'm sure you guys probably watched it. We all really liked the original movie.
It's in my top 100. one of the few comedies in there. It's a classic.
See, okay, so you would have different expectations than me because right. I don't even remember watching it. Like, it's not one I rewatched over and over again. I rewatched it a week ago just to prepare for this, but it's not something I hold really.
I quote it
close
in my life all the time.
Yeah, so there are two different kinds of viewers. There are the viewers like you guys who could quote it, and me who's like, I kind of remember that. So it didn't hit as hard for me in that nostalgia kind of look, but it wasn't bad by any stretch. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, I thought it was good enough.
Extra. It was totally good enough.
Yeah,
I didn't love it.
No.
I didn't like how little of Eddie Murphy technically was in it, but it was fine. They did a lot of the callbacks, which is
a lot of
callbacks. Yeah. But like Wesley Snipes was good. The way he walked sideways every time he came in, I was like, that was totally silly. Leslie Jones. That moment, just a few minutes into the movie, when she's waving that candle, like that in that flashback, I laughed out loud at that. That was funny, but it was a ridiculous premise. But of course,
yeah.
But everybody was good. I think what I enjoyed most about it is I felt like they were having fun. It's like I'm glad. I just like the idea of all these people being alive and getting together and getting to do this, to get to have this party of filming this movie. You know, that brought me satisfaction. All the Eddie Murphys got to get together.
Yeah.
And
Well,
get in the barbershop.
James Earl Jones and John Amos, and I mean, they're not spring chickens anymore. They're,
Right. That's what I mean. They're
their
still
career.
alive. They got to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
was
cool.
satisfying to me. And the music was good.
We got a Louis Anderson cameo in there, even. So still working at McDowell's.
Yeah. I'm right now I'm making fries. Pretty soon I'll be doing salads. And then I'll be assistant manager.
To me, it just did. Yeah, the callbacks were a lot of fan service, and it was fun. It was good seeing all these characters again, and it made sense why it wasn't. They didn't just cash in because it was popular. It's like they had a new story to tell. But I just feel like it really missed a step because you knew from the first minute what the plot was.
Oh yeah,
because he has 3 daughters, and he can't have an heir, even though this oldest daughter is super qualified and should definitely take over the kingdom. I've got to go find a boy. So it's a girl empowerment movie, and he's gonna learn. Wait, we can't be stuck in these old. Maybe I'm spoiling a little too much, but
no,
that's not what it did. The movie
it was obvious.
But the movie
once I saw Kiki Lane, I'm like, yeah, she's gonna end up.
Yeah, so they got Kiki Lane in the role, and they spend no time on her character. The movie is not about her at all. It's about this boy. Let's go to America and get this boy and hang out with this boy and do fun stuff with this boy. And the movie's about let's give women a chance, and they sideline the female characters and go do a bunch of boy stuff. It's like that's what you had an opportunity to do something else, and you did. The scene that made me laugh the hardest were Leslie Jones and the Queen singing the Humpty Dance. Like you said, you could tell they were just laughing and having fun. It's like these characters are great, and like their interactions were great. I wanted more of that. And the daughters, the son had no impression on me whatsoever. So I was disappointed in the tone it took or the direction it took.
More Leslie Jones and everything, just everywhere.
Yeah, it was totally just a party. I was glad. I liked just seeing them get to do it. I was just happy for them.
Yeah,
it's funny because we watched that, and then I had go on.
Well, I was just going to say, mentioning that.
Go ahead.
That whole type of movie is, it's like Grown Ups. The first one was good, but every Grown Ups movie, I don't even know how many there are, but everyone after that I hated. And I liked this movie enough that, I was satisfied by it.
All those grown-ups movies, all those Sandler movies, all he does is go on vacation, take his friends, film a movie.
Yeah, that's it.
It's always at a tropical location.
And get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watched Harlem Nights. Nick had never seen Harlem Nights, and it's on Prime. And I was like, while you're in the mood here, I was like, I quote this movie all the time. You need to understand what I'm saying. Because he was calling off work like his last day of his old job. He was like, I'm going to call off. What should I say? I said, put your mother on the phone. This is Ricky. I ain't coming home no more. See you later. He's like, what? I was like, let's watch Harlem Nights.
So that was a big deal. What else you got?
South Park had another special.
They had another special?
Yeah, they had the pandemic special.
Mm-hmm.
Now they had their vaccination special.
Okay. Is this on HBO Max?
Was it on HBO?
Sure, I'm sure it will be. It was on Comedy Central when it debuted, but I'm sure it'll be on HBO at some point. And they spelled South Park PARQ. So it was all about QAnon and some of that kind of stuff. It was not as good. You guys both watched the pandemic special, which surprised me because you haven't watched that show in a while. But this one was not as good, although it did start out. Every episode starts out with the disclaimer all voices are fictionalized, blah, blah, but they did the Muppets thing. That this, the following show, has negative depictions of many kinds of people. Like it was basically like they parodied the Muppets disclaimers on Disney Plus. So it's like no one should watch this, just like the Muppet. No one should watch the Muppets either.
Speaking of the Muppets, that was one other thing I've been watching.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
That's when we sit down to eat something or whatever, we throw on an episode of the Muppets. That's just that's become habit here. We still haven't even made it through the first season.
I have been told the Muppets were canceled, and here you are watching the Muppets.
Yep.
Someone lied to me.
You can't cancel me. But
I've watched the first few so far.
There's a lot of episodes. There's like 120 Muppets episodes, so there's a ton in the first season. So we've made it most of the way through the first season, but it is funny how much singing there is. Nick's like, everybody sings. They're all singers. I was trying to explain to him where it's starting to change now, but even up to not so many years ago, I would equate the Muppet Show to Saturday Night Live. All these actors and actresses, to get where they came up through stage and Disney shows, and you had to be able to sing.
Yeah.
And they never get to use it. And so when they come on SNL, they want to sing, and when they're on the Muppet Show, they wanted to sing back then, and they wanted to get to use a talent that they didn't normally get to use. So
or dance like Rita Moreno.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Rita Moreno was.
Those humans with Muppet heads weird me out.
They are weird. I'll give you that.
That's a great skit, though. That's one of the classic skits.
Yeah.
Where she dances with that guy and throws him around and stuff. That's a good one.
Yeah. So, but
that's good. You get plenty of Fozzie every episode. You got to watch every opening, every ending. You never skip the intro or outro.
Right.
There's a Fozzie joke in the intro and a different way that he gongs the thing.
Yeah.
Gonzo. And at the end you get Waldorf and Statler, or whatever their names are, always have a new joke. So you never skip any of that stuff.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. It felt like it took forever to get it on Disney Plus. It should not have taken that long. It should have been a very, if not first day premiere, it should have been added, very early on.
It's nice though that they are able to have stuff to add over time.
It is nice.
And you were talking about it being canceled, just obviously for explaining, they put like some disclaimers, warnings that some things might be insensitive or whatever, because they made a couple. There's like, I noticed before I saw that was happening, that there's like a couple of jokes about Native Americans or whatever they had here. Not anything even big, and just preparing people for something might be said that was looked at differently then, and things. But some things just aren't on there. They have like omitted things.
There's a few episodes, and they have edited some of the episodes, but there are a couple episodes, I think 2 or 3, that are not on Disney Plus in the US, just because of copyright issues with music and songs and stuff like that. But they have made some small edits in some of the actual episodes, just cutting some stuff out that might not be appropriate today.
Yeah, they had like 2 episodes from season 5 had Brooke Shields and Chris Langham that aren't there. 2 episodes with Don Knotts are missing. The centerpiece musical number Lullaby of Birdland. I don't know what the problem is with that. Let's see what else. Richard Pryor dropped out the last minute. Yeah, that Chris Langham. Who is he?
He, I didn't know who he was. I'd never heard of him.
Staff writer who.
Yeah.
Well, but he ended up being a convicted sex offender. Yeah.
Yes. That's why it's not in there.
Yeah, but anyway, of course, that's fine. Whatever. The majority of it's there.
And it is good. It is good.
Oh, yeah. It's great to have it there.
Was it ever released on like DVD box sets and stuff, or is this?
It's been several years ago, but yes.
Okay.
I don't think was the whole thing. I feel like people but tried to get it and couldn't ever get it all. But
I'm not sure if all 5 seasons were. I know like at least 3 were released. I thought it was all of them, but yeah.
I feel like this would have been a bigger deal. Like finally, the Muppets are available. Like like I said, the copyright stuff. I'm sure there's music. They didn't all have the right copyrights to do this stuff back in the day. That's why a lot of stuff when TV first started getting on DVD, a lot of it had problems clearing the music rights that they used.
It's funny watching the development of the characters because Miss Piggy off the bat is a different character, and
she has a wrong.
Gonza's very subdued. But they start to come around pretty quickly in the first season. It is interesting. I was looking to see because people right off the bat are so happy to be there and they love the Muppets, and I was like, what have you even seen in the Muppets before 1976? But Rolf was on the Jimmy Dean show or something like that,
Yeah, he was in commercials and stuff, and Kermit in earlier versions. But they actually had Muppet specials before that predated the Muppet Show.
Okay.
There was one called it was literally called Sex, Drugs, and the Muppets or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the end of sex and violence on television. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Muppet Show.
But they were like an hour specials here and there that had a lot of these characters or some version of them. So people know a little bit.
I assume they had guested on Sesame Street occasionally here and there or something, So I know that it's the same guys,
performers,
And Sesame Street had been around since '69. This is '76 that these shows came out.
Yeah.
But it's good. It is something to pop in when you need something to watch while you're eating. Doesn't take very long. Good. That's about it. They got a real world. Paramount Plus came out. There's all kinds of stuff on there to try and draw people in. The only thing I was even interested in was the Real World Homecoming. I've seen every episode of that. I don't know. That's not a brag, but I've seen all of all his MTV reality things. Still watching The Challenge this year. Good season, but that's the beginnings of reality television. Was when they put those kids in the house in New York.
This is the true story. True story.
7 strangers picked to live in a loft
And have their lives taped.
To find out what happens.
What?
When people stop being polite. Could you get the phone?
And start getting real.
The real world.
And to get them all back together, they had the first episodes on YouTube so you could watch it, and had them all back there in the same loft, except for Eric Neese. He got COVID.
Yeah, tested for COVID.
But
that was always my favorite. I know that was the shortest season, the original, but that was always my favorite season. And I swear, growing up, I'd seen those episodes so many times over and over and over. Because when that came out, it was 1992. So I was in 7th grade. I mean, just the perfect age for that, cool new idea of television, with these, the cast of very diverse characters, but living in New York City in the 90s. It was all very exciting and controversial, and I just watched it over and over. So I watched the first episode because they had it on YouTube for free, and I could not believe how happy it made me while I was just watching that first episode. Because the first episode is just it's very happy. They're just happy to see each other. They're so excited to be in that same loft 30 years later. it's all just, it's all the good stuff before before
That's
it gets real.
Like at first, before it starts getting real. I felt the same way. I was happy to see that they all liked each other and stuff, but then it did not make me want to go get Paramount Plus and watch the rest of it because it stressed me out. Seeing previews of knowing there was going to be conflict about race and them discussing those issues that they did back in the day, and it's going to come back up because Kevin's still Kevin, and they need to talk about it. And I get all that, but I'm just like, that's just engrossed our lives for so long now that I'm like, it kind of stressed me out after all the feel good vibes they were having. I'm not in a hurry to watch it.
Yeah, I saw that preview of the season they showed at the end of episode 1, and I was just kind of like, oh, like I'm happy with episode 1. Like, I don't want to ruin that. Like, this was so cool, and let's not go down that road, guys. So
yeah, that's kind of how I felt. I was thinking I remember more of the second season when they had the country singer. Beth.
This is the true story. True story of 7 strangers picked to live in a house
And have their lives taped
to find out what happens
when people stop being polite.
and start getting real. Real world, California.
I remember yelling that at him down at the Sternwell Festival. He was here for the Sternwell Festival. John, whatever his name is.
John
me and
Brennan.
my friends were walking around. Yeah, me and my friends were walking around going, Beth! And he was just laughing because that's what everybody did to him. It was funny.
So you don't have Paramount Plus?
It's CBS All Access.
I wondered. I was going to ask if it rolled. Did your CBS All Access roll over into that, or do you have to
If
get
I
a new
had it,
subscription?
I don't have it right now. I only get it when Big Brother's on.
Okay.
So in the summer, if they have Big Brother this year, I'll get it for live feeds and stuff, and maybe I'll go back and watch some of that stuff.
I think Michael has it. I think he's all.
It's not expensive. It's like anything else. It's like $5 or $6 with commercials, or $10 no commercials. It's the same thing. I just the slate that Paramount Plus dropped, nothing. I couldn't name another thing that's on there, so nothing grabbed my attention.
I got to tell you, before the Super Bowl this year, I got out a clean piece of paper because I was going to take notes.
We were going to have a Paramount Plus show
on all the there's always movie trailers, TV, for the podcast. I was going to keep track of everything that debuted on the Super Bowl, and there was nothing but Paramount Plus. That was the only thing they talked about at the Super Bowl. And the Clarice and the Equalizer, all the CBS shows, and Paramount Plus. That's all we got, pretty much.
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me. We'll see if something hits the zeitgeist that has to be watched, and then
we got to watch the Yellowstone. They're doing the Yellowstone prequel.
Oh yeah,
Yellowstone Origins or whatever.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's Y1883. So it's like a Western.
Oh, when is that supposed to happen?
I have no idea. It's still a ways
I'm all
away.
over that.
They didn't have any footage or anything.
Don't tell them, but I'll pay $100 a month.
Do you think Kevin Costner will be in it?
I hope he's playing his great-great-grandpa.
His own grandpa, yeah.
Yes, I'm my own grandpa, yes. I would totally watch the hell out of that. He better be doing that. That's going to be great. All the same. In fact, just to get the exact same cast.
You got to get Beth in there.
Yeah.
Rip.
If you're going to get him, you got to get Beth in there. She already knows how to use one of them old-timey bathtubs. Just jump in the trough.
And that on a streaming channel, you can get away with a lot more than a cable channel. So Yellowstone already does some racy stuff. So Paramount Plus might just go for broke.
That's what the plus is.
That show is so popular. That
crazy.
Yellowstone, people love it.
Probably sells a lot of trucks.
Oh, but all right,
better put Cliff to bed here.
Cliff's got to work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he's got a threesome going on there, but
I feel like every week now, or every couple weeks when we record, I have to come up with like a new background. So
yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
If I ever learned how to do a Zoom background, I would try to, but it's only been a year. I haven't figured this technology out yet.
We went through the whole timeline earlier.
For the non-patrons, he's sitting in between Charlie Sheen and Jennifer Grey pre-nose job on the set of Ferris Bueller's Day Off in the police
station. Yeah.
Pretty nice. Good stuff. All right, in true fashion, go home. It's over. Little Ferris Bueller for you.
I understood that.
I understood that reference.
I caught that reference.
All right, we are going to turn back our odometers and go to bed. Mm-hmm. We'll see you next time, everybody. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
Seth, goodbye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast, @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, please sign up to be a patron through the Podbean app or our website, www.udownwithkpp.com, to receive special content and early access to some episodes. We are grateful to anyone that chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will always remain free, so please continue to like, comment, and share.